All right, compliments of the season to you, my awesome subscribers and co-analysts from all over the world. You are welcome to another great episode of The Truth with Ben Jokes, your favorite political talk show. Now, reports making the rounds is that the organizers of the charity program which led to the stampede of children in Ibadan have been remanded in prison, and chances are high that they may go to jail. So those who try to help hungry Nigerians will be sent to jail by those who caused the hunger. What an irony. And reacting to this, Zoe Adiola wrote, he said the government and courts can handle the issue of Queen Naomi and Oriyomi Hamzat in a way that they will not be remanded in court. But I'm so surprised to see that they are now being asked to be remanded in prison for trying to help people who are hungry for food. Imprisoning people for sponsoring giveaways that ended tragically because Nigerians are so desperate and hungry for food is totally wrong. They were just trying to help. When the government giveaway in Lagos had the same outcome, was anyone arrested? I feel sorry for Shekunla Naomi. It's such a tragedy. Look at what the Tinubu administration is doing, jailing people who try to help. This is what the Nigerian courts have become. The other day, they sentenced a man to death by hanging for stealing a chicken before the governor of Osun State intervened. People who deserve pardon being jailed while chronic criminals walk free. And Nigerians began bashing the Nigerian judiciary once again. But all of a sudden, the judiciary scored a quick point when the Nigerian Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee threw away Afe Babalola's attempt to debar Dele Farotimi. Afe Babalola attempted to take away Dele Farotimi's status as a lawyer called to bar in Nigeria. But to the shock of Nigerians, the association threw away Afe Babalola's petition. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that, Tinubu shocked Nigerians when he indicted his own government with his own mouth. Before I show you details of these top stories, let me quickly show you these updates. The first update here is a video, a reaction to Tinubu's media chat by Kenneth Okonkwo. See the video.
We have to stop all this nonsensical giving kudos to failures. For 19 months, you've not been able to tell Nigerian people what you have been doing. And you started doing wrong things from the day you were sworn in.
But he has been speaking.
Fuel
he has done briefings.
Gone.
He has been giving speeches. He's been explaining himself since he came into office.
Democracy is not about your talking to the people. It's about your being interrogated by the people. The Constitution says the participation of the people in their government shall be ensured. The people participate through their representatives, both from the media, both from any policy you want to do, has to be interrogated by the people. Democracy is not just about doing what is good for the people, it is also about doing what the people want. Now, let's come to the nitty-gritty of the presidential media chart. There were about 4 major branches of what he said. Talked about the stampede, talked about cost of governance, talked about corruption, talked about the tax reform bill. These are about the major areas. About the stampede, this president shifted all the responsibility to the organizers, people who wanted to help people who are hungry. Let me tell you, this stampede happened in the east. It happened in the west. It happened in the north. That means it's now a general thing that Nigerians from all sectors are hungry and things are hard. They did not die in stampede because they were poor. Poverty exists in every country. They died in a stampede because they were desperately hungry. In other words, they know that if they don't have that food, they don't even have anything to fall back in their house. And that is why they had to struggle for 5,000 naira and for grains of rice. The worth of life in Tinubu's government is now about 5,000 naira, and it's about grains of rice. Look at what happened in Abuja, in the Catholic ministry. They've been doing that for decades. They've been doing that for years. Why is today's own different? It is different because people have become desperately hungry. When people say negligence of the people organizing it, people that were expecting like 500 persons and they saw 5,000 persons, they wouldn't have reasonably assumed that 5,000 persons will come. And when the 5,000 persons came, they would have been able to organize themselves if they were not desperate. But because they were desperate, they did not wish to ever live there without having anything. Having seen that more people came, they knew that some people would live there without anything. So they had to now struggle to make sure that they are part of the beneficiaries. That is a sign of a failed state.
You heard that. For me, Kenneth Okonkwo was absolutely spot on there. Sharing of rice and other food items, especially during festive periods, is a common practice in Nigeria. And before now, you would see people just walk past where they are sharing items. Many people just be walking by. They will not even care to go there. It's only the very, very, very poor and indigent Nigerians that you see going there. Some will even go home, come back, and still find things to take. But nowadays, just put one small poster somewhere that people should gather to come and collect 3 cups of rice and see how human beings will inundate the place because of the situation of the country. And the Nigerian police and other, paid organizations are trying to put everything on the organizers. This is just a shame. The next video here is that of Dele Farotimi speaking as he left Ekiti jail today to his home in Lagos. Let's see the video.
The thing I need all of you to know is this: I am not unmindful of the sacrifices that you have made to be here today. May the grace of God find and locate you wherever you are. Amen. It is not ever an easy journey when you are fighting evil. Yes. At all. But some years back, before I started this work, God told me very clearly, and I heard it very clearly. He says, once have I spoken. Once has he spoken, twice have I heard. He says, the truth is enough. It is the only weapon by which you can slay the monster called Nigeria. The truth, nothing else. In my public advocacy, in my fight and my wars against this evil empire that we all live in, I have never lied against anyone. Yeah. If I don't know, I'll say I don't know. That's true.
Wow, so nice to see Uncle Dele Farotimi speaking there. It's always a thing of joy to hear him speak. And of course, he let us know that there is also a spiritual angle to the good that he's doing, fighting against the monster called Nigeria. And I believe you saw one of Peter Obi's spokespersons, Dr. Yunus Atanko, in the background there with Dele Farotimi. Peter Obi and Obedience haven't left Farotimi for his second since he was detained. Even Obedience in Ekiti were taking turns visiting him in detention. So we know what we are doing. We are not just noisemakers like these other people. We are patriotic citizens trying to see if we can rescue this sinking ship. And if this nation eventually sinks, we can at least say we tried our best. But until then, we remain loyal to our principal, His Excellency Peter Obi, point blank, period. Now, let's look at the top stories. First is that video where Tinubu shocked Nigerians by indicting his own government with his own mouth. And next is that update talking about the dismissal of Afe Babalola's attempt to remove Dele Farotimi from the Nigerian Bar Association. Let's start by taking that boring and lackluster interview where Tinubu ended up indicting his own government. Please watch this video to the very end because the part that I want to discuss is actually at the end. See the video.
A very serious and big feeling for all of us to lose loved ones, children, particularly in Oyo State, but then followed by various other reports. But are we looking at it from organizers' point of view? Or are you looking at it from the goodwill gesture of the people trying to give out whatever they have accessed? And it's very sad that people are not well organized. We just have to be more disciplined in our society. Condolences to those who lost the family member. But it is good to give. I have been given out foodstuffs, commodities, including envelopes and body loan for the last 25 years. I've never experienced this kind of incident.
What a boring video. In fact, I have to commend those of you who were able to watch this video till the very end, because it's not easy listening to this man for close to 2 minutes. Now, the point where he indicted his own government was where he said he has been sharing food and other items at his house in the Baudelaire for 25 years and they had never witnessed a stampede. That is the point. Many areas where this year's stampede occurred would also tell you that this isn't their first year of helping the poor. They have been sharing food to people, but this year, the number of poor people increased. And not only the number, their desperation and aggression increased because of the poverty in the land. And nobody is saying that things could not have been done differently. But I'm telling you, it is very easy to blame the organizers. Even some APC members have gone as far as blaming the victims themselves. But it is because you are not in their shoes. You don't know the calamity, the famine that is going on in this country. And this tweet here says, it has never been this bad. Now people are very desperate to survive. This statement is an indictment to his government. I wish half of the citizens are wise. Then our country's future wouldn't be looking scary at the end. Both the slaves and those black who sold slaves all lost. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to these, that update from the Nigerian Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee dropped. Look at how the papers reported it. Alleged defamation. Nigerian Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee rejects Afe Babalola's petition to debar Dele Farotimi, Sahara reporters. The Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee has dismissed a request from Chief Afe Babalola's law firm, Emmanuel Chambers, to revoke the law license of human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi. The firm had accused Farotimi of criminal defamation and professional misconduct. The allegations arose from a petition filed by Emmanuel Chambers through one of its lawyers, Mr. Olafaru. The petition claimed that Farotimi, in his book Nigerian Criminal Justice System, made defamatory remarks about the Supreme Court and the legal profession. The petition further accused Farotimi of distorting case facts, disrespecting fellow lawyers, and obstructing justice for personal benefit. Among the grievances cited were his criticisms of a Supreme Court judgment affecting several residential estates and his portrayal of subsequent legal proceedings as undermining the Apex Court's decision. Emmanuel Chambers had insisted that Farotimi's book violated provisions of the Rules of Professional Conduct for Legal Practitioners 2023 and called for Farotimi's name to be removed from the roll of legal practitioners. But LPDC in its report said the alleged offenses occurred in Farotimi's role as an author, not during his professional practice as a lawyer. As such, the committee concluded that it lacked jurisdiction to adjudicate on matters related to publications and advised the complainants to seek redress through the regular courts. The publication is an intellectual property and not a conduct or action committed while practicing as a legal practitioner. All aggrieved parties who find the publication defamatory should ventilate their grievances through the regular courts, the LPDC stated in its report. LPDC Chairman Justice Ishaq Usman Bello said the petition was beyond the committee's jurisdiction, leading to its dismissal. Now, Nigerians were shocked at this report because ordinarily, most people thought that once they just approach anybody with anything against Dele Farotimi, once they approach any organizations, those ones will just immediately rule against him. But in this case, the Nigerian Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee rejected Afe Babalola's petition. And it's such a shame that Afe Babalola is trying every means outside the court to punish Dele Farotimi. And this was what they were telling him here. They said, use the normal means of redress. Go to court. Are you now afraid of the courts? Because the case is in court, the man has not been proven guilty. So why do you want all the punishments in this world meted out on a man that is still on trial? Or are you afraid of the trial? And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here says, no sensible legal committee anywhere in the world would have accepted that nonsensical request from Afe Babalola. How these men want to turn Nigeria to a banana republic before transiting to the great beyond is something that should worry every Nigerian. That is it. And this tweet by Femi Durojaye says, maybe it is time to revisit how Afe Babalola was conferred the SAN title. He seems to be an expert in taking frivolous matter for adjudication. He should have been fined and exonerated. Agba were. And Jasper says, the petition to debar a man who is defending justice is an attempt to smother justice. The petitioner had rather exposed himself the more. No one should see himself as God. Every man should be equal before God and justice, but not in Nigeria. And this tweet here says, he wants to debar Uncle Dele. Ha! No be small thing, no. I'm telling you. And this tweet here says, Afe Babalola, who is 95 years old, is seeking an inhuman treatment to Dele Farotimi. Wickedness in hell. You know, it is just so pathetic, the lengths that these guys will go to. And it just shows the decay in our system, that somebody can approach a body and tell them, debar this man. Do you know how long it takes to be called to the bar? And you just walk to that place and say, debar this one. And I'm glad that, you know, for once in a very long time, Nigerian judiciary were able to do the right thing, at least to save their faces a little. It's such a shame. And regardless of what the Nigerian courts are going to come up with, everything Afe Babalola has done ever since this book, Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System by Dele Farotimi, dropped, has shown that Dele Farotimi was correct. He said the man is bossy and he's so powerful that he uses his influence to change judgments and to harass systems and institutions in Nigeria. And the man is doing the exact thing. I don't know if this man does not have advisors. Because the same thing you were accused of in the book that you are saying they should take down, they should stop selling and circulating all around the world, is what you are doing. And I've been saying it. I said, everything Afe Babalola has done since that book was released is another book itself. And somebody is in one corner documenting every move that Baba is making. And before you know it, another book will land to confirm what was said in Dele Farotimi's book. And that is going to be the final, nail to his coffin. We don't know where Baba will be by then because he's 95 years old. But this is the issue. And I think those close to the man should just tell him to start treading carefully. At least, even if all those things have been said about him, he has a legacy to protect, and let him just worry about that. Anyway, it's Christmas. Let's close it here and let's go about the celebrations. And we pray that God keep us happy, in good health, and in prosperity. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening. See you again tomorrow. Merry Christmas.